Hey, business building warrior, I've got a treat for you today. It's a new coach on our team, and she lives in Norway. Here's a little hint: they do not have Amazon in Norway. But for the last several years, she's been growing a beautiful business in Norway, doing it by herself with three young kids right now. And one of them is having some difficulties with the health. Their newest, their little baby's having some health difficulties. So she's had to slow the business down a little bit the past few weeks. But on a normal, typical month, she's doing between $30,000 and $60,000 of sales in the United States from Norway at beautiful margins, as she'll share with us today. She's doing really well. She's simply deploying the strategies that we teach in the Proven Amazon course. And we say it all the time: where you live does not matter. You can do this from anywhere in the world. And I already mentioned Semina, that's her name. She is a coach on our team now, meaning if you want to work with her, we've got international coaches who can help you. There are a couple of unique situations that you have to overcome when you're an international seller selling on Amazon, meaning when you go to buy stuff online, for example, sometimes you'll run into challenges trying to use your credit card and they'll say, hey, it looks like you're outside the United States. We suspect you're a scam transaction. So we talk through how we help our students get around that. It's a small hurdle that you have to get around. Hey, who handles your inventory? That's a challenge, right? We're not going to ship all that inventory to her home in Norway and then have her handle it and put stickers on it. No, she uses a prep center. So we talk about that a little bit on the show today. Actually, thousands of sellers in our community use prep centers. People who live right here in the United States use them if they don't want the business in their home. But I'm just encouraged by the fact that this is yet another example. We've got hundreds of them, and yet another example of someone who's using a part-time effort to build a beautiful business that's enhancing their family's budget using a very part-time effort, hours here and there. She doesn't work 9 hours a day straight with her nose in the computer. No, she works a few hours here, a few hours there, and she's built an incredible business that she can scale to whatever level she'd like. And she's a coach on our team, which is so exciting for me. We're so excited about the future of this business model. We're seeing indicators more and more all the time that not only is it as exciting as it's ever been, I would argue the doors are getting flown even wider open because e-commerce is growing faster than any other economic sector in the United States, at least. I don't know what the rest of the world's looking like, but in the US, it's the fastest growing economic sector. Amazon continues to dominate, being half of all the transactions and half of all the business done online any given day. And that whole huge piece of the pie is still only 15% of retail in the United States, meaning there's tons of room for growth. Projected growth is that 15% will become 30% in the next 10 to 12 years. The game has only started. These basic skills we teach, you can do it from anywhere in the world. We'd love to walk you through it. It's very low risk, meaning you wade in nice and slow at your own pace. You're earning money while you learn. You don't have to spend a whole bunch of money and hope it works out someday. No, you wade in at your own pace. Our student today that we interview, Semina, who's now a coach, talks about how she started out before she found us. She started out trying to launch her own brand on Amazon. It was a bit of a disaster, and she handles it very politely today. She doesn't talk down about it because she did learn a few things, but she didn't make any money. And I spend some time on the episode explaining, briefly, I'll share now, but that's no surprise. I don't know of very many, hardly any, maybe 5% at best of new sellers who try to launch a brand who ever actually make any money. It's so expensive, so time consuming. It's putting all of your fish into one barrel. You're taking such a huge risk when it's just not necessary. I'd so much rather teach you the way we do things around here, where you're earning while you're learning, diversifying your risk, selling a handful of a whole bunch of different products as a reseller, and making great profits doing it. That's how you wade into the Amazon territory. Well, I think that's enough of an introduction. Samina Shams is who we're going to meet today. There's going to be lots of good links in the show notes. This is an audio only episode by her request. So if you're watching on YouTube and you don't see a video, well, that's why, because it was an audio only. Many of our episodes are audio only for various reasons, but this is a great interview with someone whose her trade is an accountant. So when she shares her numbers with you, those are accurate numbers. She knows how to track the numbers in a business. Her previous work was as an accountant. So let's meet Samina, the former accountant from Norway, who moved from private label to the replens model as taught in the Proven Amazon course, and she's killing it. I think you're going to be inspired. Samina, welcome to the podcast. It's good to be here with you.
Thanks for having me, Jim. It's an honor.
Oh, it's an honor for me as well. And thanks for staying up late, putting the kids to bed and all that. Yeah, this is going to be a great episode, though. I'm really looking forward to it. So tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll get into how you got into e-commerce as well.
My name is Samina, and I'm based in Norway. So, academically, I'm an accountant, and I worked at an accountancy firm for a few years, both in England and in Norway. And for the past 5 to 6 years, I've been doing Amazon in the US market, while I've been living in Norway all these years. So now I'm doing this full time. And in my private life, I have three small kids, 5 years old, 2 years old, and a 3 months old. And my husband, he works full time in a telecom sector. This is my profile.
That's and you're doing so most of the work. If I remember right, your husband helps you a little bit on the weekends, but you're doing the business yourself for the most part, correct?
Yes, of course. Yes, it was me who started it, and it was me who discovered it online. So it was back in like 2018,
Right.
and me and my husband we used to work not in the same office, but on the same in the same building. And while going back and forth, like whenever we would go to the office or coming back, I would always talk about these videos that I watched online. Back in 2018, there were some these case studies done by a software company called Jungle Scout, and I think the name of the video was $1 million case study or something. Like it
Hmm.
was like long time ago, and
Okay.
so my husband, he heard me saying this so many times, and he said, "You're talking about this all the time. Why don't you just go ahead and start this?" And so then it was for me. It was like for me, and as well as for my husband, it was like an absolute new concept that one can go online and sell things also.
Mm.
And so I got registered myself on Amazon in 2019 while following that video. And in that video, they would majorly talk about like private label, and that's what I think their software was for.
Right.
And I followed all their steps. And so from 2019, I started on Amazon with a private label. And so from 2019 to 2020, I was able to sell off those private label stuff, but it was not that what I wanted. So I was in discussion with somebody on Facebook. That lady was also doing private label, and actually she told me about your group, about Silent Sales Machine Group, and she specifically mentioned your name.
Oh,
And so before even joining, she gave me your name. And when I joined the group and I saw your posts, and I still remember very clearly you, because you always talk about that replens model and selling something, which we're buying something and you can sell it again and again. So
right.
since I am not like English is not my first language, even though I speak very well.
You
So I
have
actually
phenomenal English, yes, by the way.
So actually, I went to Google and I searched what is repellents that Jim is talking about. Like, what is this that you can sell again and again and buy here and sell it at a good price and all that stuff? So I had to literally search that, and then I joined back, and it was amazing. It was full of knowledge, and I also joined the Facebook group, which came with the pack, and from there I got I got prepared for Amazon actually, and I changed from private label to online arbitrage, because that's what I could do from Norway,
Right.
and that's what I understood, that I could do it easily. And so I got all the knowledge from the pack. I did so many modules in it, and I was in the group, Facebook group, that comes with the pack. And then I was guided so much in that group, so much. Like I posted questions, and everyone has answers to my questions. And from there, I took the lead, and from that group, actually, I made friends in that group, and that was life changing. They changed my business. I can say they changed my life, and then from between those, that the friends I made from the group, we made a mastermind group, and yeah, so everything took off from that point. A
And,
very
and
high.
when would this have been when you transitioned from doing private label to discovering our Facebook group and launching into the models that we teach here for new sellers? What year would that have been?
It was 2020.
2020. Okay,
Yes.
got you. And you've only ever sold in the United States, correct?
Yes.
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 So, just to be clear for the listeners' sake who's listening to this today, my friend Samina from Norway is not selling in Norway. She
No.
is selling in the United States without ever seeing or touching your inventory. So, you're using prep centers, correct, to receive your inventory. And now talk me through the details of that. What's your routine look like with your business? Now I know right now you've got a young infant who's had some health challenges. You know, you mentioned you said what just a few months old, right? So that's distracted you away, obviously, and understandably so, from your business. But when life isn't in an unusual pattern, what is your normal schedule and routine?
Okay. So, firstly, for me, there are two very important things in this Amazon business for me. One is finding good ASINs daily. Like I try to find things daily, and with the criteria which you always teach in the pack, like whatever the ROI should be and all that stuff, and the keeper charts that you teach. So I follow that criteria very strictly. So finding ASINs, and as you say, diverse ASINs, many ASINs, and not just spending everything on one brand or in one or on few ASINs. I try to diversify. So one thing I do this is to find new ASINs daily. And another thing is taking care of my inventory, doing the inventory management part. And that part is divided into two. One is to take care of the inventory from the vendors. If they have sent my stuff, have not sent my stuff, all that follow up. And the second part is taking care of my inventory from the Amazon. So whatever they have lost or the reimbursements part and the unfulfillable inventory part and all that stuff. So I
Like the
take care
account
of it.
health, daily maintenance, that sort of
Yes,
thing.
of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, that's the first thing I check in the morning
Hmm.
in my performance, the account health section.
Very good. So you're doing all these things yourself. Have you hired a virtual assistant or do you have any other help on your team?
No, I didn't do it. I did share some VAs with some friends in the past, but I have actually never used them directly.
Understood. Well, it's an impressive business you've built. Now, you and I met without recording the conversation here recently, and you shared some of the numbers with me.
Yeah.
And it's so encouraging for me to see someone like you. It inspires me, Samina. It really does, because you live outside the United States. You're in Norway. And we say all the time, it doesn't matter where you live. You're a great example. I can't even remember. Do you have Amazon in Norway? I don't think you
No,
do you?
no. We
No.
in Sweden
Okay.
we have. In
Sweden
Sweden we
does.
have. Yeah.
Right. Like one of our other coaches, he's in Slovakia. Like they don't have Amazon there that I know of yet. Maybe they will
Mm.
someday, but it doesn't matter where you live. You can buy and sell. And you've got three young kids, right? A husband who works full time. So you're squeezing this into the available hours of your life and you're putting up some incredible numbers. You're doing a tremendous job. And you've built a very viable business that's growing and scaling and it's flexible. I'm just impressed. You're a bit of a hero to me. You really are. And every time I talk to someone like you that just inspires me and they've got a unique twist to what they've battled through, it inspires and encourages me, which is why I was so excited that you agreed to be on the podcast today. But so share to the degree that you're comfortable some of the numbers that you have. And now I know, like you said, your business has taken a bit of a back seat right now, which is part of the luxury of having a flexible business is you can set it aside for a few weeks at a time if you need to, pick it back up when life hands you back some of that time that you need. But talk us through some of the numbers. Like what's a good month for you?
So I think the good month for me is between the way it has been in the past was between like 35K to 60K in sales. And the profit margins net was 18% and like something like that.
18% net.
So
So just under
yeah,
20. So on a really good month, you would have had, you're putting 10, $12,000 in the
yeah,
bank in a good month,
yeah.
working fairly flexible part-time. Now I know it's a lot of work and it's everyday work. How many hours per week would you say you're working at the peak?
So because I do everything by myself, so it takes me time. It can take me like 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours also a day, but it gives me great flexibility. So I'm not bound to like it's like not 9 to 5. I can squeeze in 2 hours here, 2 hours there,
Right.
3 hours there. So
After the
it's
kids are in bed, if you're not on
yeah,
a podcast with me, you could do some work, right? Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I
So
love it. Yeah.
yeah, so it's more like that. So
Yeah.
good. But I feel like all these past years, I've been obsessed with it because I just love this business so much. And it shows you great results. If you consistently put efforts into it, you see results very quickly. So yeah, so I've been obsessed with it. I can work longer also, but it takes time. You need to put in efforts daily in this. Like that's what I think because I have never actually outsourced this business, my business to anyone. So I don't know how it's gonna be, but I do it with all my passion. So it takes me a few hours, but provides me with great flexibility.
Phenomenal. Yeah, you've built a beautiful business and it's very flexible. You can scale it as much as you want. There's some opportunities available to you to add in an assistant, maybe someone from the Philippines that would pick up a lot of the daily tasks and even maybe even the asin hunting according to your parameters. So have someone else that's finding asins for you based on you training them. And so you really could scale. I think that's how you could probably double your business would be to pick up a virtual assistant for, $3 to $5 per hour in the Philippines and train them a lot of what you know and turn them loose on your account a little bit. But still, what you've got doing it yourself is a nice illustration. It's a great story that I think will encourage and inspire other people. Let's think it through for just a moment what challenges you have because you're based in Norway instead of being in, say, Chicago. Like, what challenges have you had to overcome briefly? If, and I know off the top of my head what things I might list, but if you live outside the United States and you want to build this business, are there any unique challenges that you've had to encounter and overcome?
I think the payments issue, the payments that you have to make online to these vendors that you buy from. So,
Hmm.
not all of them will accept your cards and your payment methods. Even they won't even accept outside USA PayPal. So, you need to, like for me, myself, like a few years ago, I changed everything to having an American company and changing like all information there. And so, and this used to be my biggest hurdle. And one thing is this, another thing is if I was, let's say, in the US, I would be able to maybe send off my inventory very quickly to Amazon. Like it's a great benefit also to having all these prep centers, but sometimes you feel like, oh, if I got this thing today, I would just send it to Amazon right now. So maybe like these things.
Yeah,
But
because you have a prep center, which for those who don't know what a prep center is, it's just basically a delivery address here in the United States. They'll receive your inventory, they'll prep it, send it to Amazon for you for, a couple dollars per package, that sort of thing. And we've got a directory of them. I'll stick it in the show notes too, prepcenternetwork.com. And yeah, so you're fully reliant. It's not just an option for you to have a
yeah,
prep center, it's a requirement for you to have a prep center. So from day one, you've had to have someone else receiving your inventory that you order online, inspecting it, labeling it, and sending it in on your behalf. Which again, there's hundreds of prep centers. So it sounds like you've found some reliable ones, but it's not as fast as doing it yourself if you could, which is
yeah,
the benefit we have here in the United States is we can, if we choose, do it
yeah,
out of our own home. until it scales to the point where you can't. And I think everyone eventually winds up moving it out of their house, and either they get a little warehouse and a team of their own, or they use a prep center, right? So you just kind of skip that step of having it in your own home for a season. Yeah. And then the other challenge that you mentioned is being able to shop online from
Yeah.
Norway. Sometimes stores might say, wait, looks like you live outside the United States. But that's why you set up a US based entity. And we help students with this all the time, by the way.
Yeah.
Help them set up a US based entity. And we've got a course inside the Proven Amazon course. We've got a module for international students like you. And I know you know this, Samina, but that's one that Joseph Biz set up for us, the International AZ course. Yeah. So, yeah, very good. What else is on your mind, if anything, based on what we've shared so far? Have we left anything out or anything you'd like to share so
No,
far?
I think like whenever I think about my journey on Amazon, I think it's because I've been living in Norway all these years and I live here. So it can be very like not just lonely, but you need a group of people who are doing the same thing as you and you can like share and bounce off ideas to each other. I think
Yes.
finding the right community and right people is very, very important for anyone to be successful in this business. I think it cannot be done alone. When
Mhm.
I found my tribe, my people, I just skyrocketed. So it's very important. So
I
for that, I
agree.
would suggest for to people just keep posting in the groups like your group and all great people are there.
Yes. There's even a feature that's a good point, maybe for me to point out. When you join our Facebook group, which is free, we just passed 81,000 members. Odds are there's someone who lives near you, but you can form a mastermind with people all over the world by reaching out and having conversations. Like you said, post in the group. But there's a post in our group that helps you connect with others. And the shortcut link to that, I'll stick it in the show notes too, but it's silentjimdotcom/near me, all one word, near me. And that helps you find others who might live near you that you can form maybe even a live meetup. Do you know anyone else in Norway that sells on Amazon?
No, I
No one else.
unfortunately we don't. No.
The only Norwegian selling on Amazon is Samina. That's so great. So, okay, here's something else I wanted to talk about today. And I'm going to ask you to share some tips and some maybe pointers for the listeners today if there's anything else that's on your mind. But you are now a coach on our team, and welcome aboard. I'm
Thank you so
honored
much.
to get to work with you. And there's a lot of people who are going to hear this episode and go, "Wow, okay, Samina is doing this as a busy mom with three young kids, one of them struggling with some health issues, and she's still running a viable business. I want her to be my coach." I think you're going to have some people reach out and to the office and say, "Yeah, I'd like to be coached by Samina." But welcome aboard. It's great to have you on the team.
Thank you so much. I'm honored. Thank you so much for this opportunity and I think it's gonna be great. I have gotten so much from your community, you know. I just want to give this back.
Mm.
Maybe fast track some for the fast track for some sellers that would come on board. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yes, well, you're going to do a tremendous job, and I've learned so much from every coach we've ever had on our team, and I consider you a colleague, and I'm here to support you in any way I can, and I can't wait to start seeing some of those stories come from the people that connect with you, and you encourage and help them build their businesses. But yeah, well done. Well, the last thing I have on my agenda, besides anything else that might be on your mind, would be to see what insights or strategies or tips you might have, especially maybe for a newer seller who might hear this episode today. And this might be the first episode someone's ever heard of our show. So, if it's simple or basic, or you think, oh, they probably already have heard this before, that's fine. Just give us a few tips and insights. You're going to be a coach soon, so teach us something. What do you think?
So actually, I think it's very, very important to take actions, to just take some action at least. And that thing when we say that analysis paralysis, like a lot of people just think too much about this. All they need to do is to take actions. And even if they just let's say if they just dedicate like $1,000 towards this also, they will learn a lot. And once you learn this process, then it's in your own hand to scale this business. It's not going to be very difficult, but all you have to do is to learn the process and trust in the process. And like personally for me, like I started all this so blindly, and actually I just trusted Jim's your words actually. And I was, as I said, I was like Googling it, like what did even those word means, the replens means, but I just followed. So just for new people, I would just say trust the word in this community and just take actions. Very, very important. You will make mistakes, you will learn, your mindset will change. You will know that you don't have to be stuck only on in one thing. For example, if there's some roadblock came, it's not end of the world. There's always a way around that. And so just keep taking actions and keep looking forward. It's a great business. Like for me, I mean, I just love this business so much. It has given me a lot. And if just, as I said, if people keep taking actions, they will see great results.
Yeah, we've tested out a system. We've taken out all the risk to the greatest degree possible. We've painted a path forward, but you have to do the work yourself. It does require work, just like everything else worth having in life, right? It does require work. But if you're willing to do the work, tremendous benefits of the lifestyle and take action. That's right. I mean, you can't just keep studying and learning and thinking about it. You've got to actually spend a little money on inventory and send it in. And some people
Yeah.
get stuck at that point. So sometimes that's what coaching does, is just gives you that little shove in the right direction to actually do those steps so that you can get it done. Well done. Again, I'm so impressed by what you've built, and I'm thrilled that you're going to be coaching with us and working with us, and I can't wait to see, how that works out for you with some of the students coming. I am curious. You've mentioned private label, and we didn't hit on this, and I'd forgotten that part of your story. But was that successful for you initially? Why did you move away from it? We didn't really cover that part of the story very much in depth. I'm just curious.
So, actually, it was when I started that private label. I just started with one product,
Mhm.
and it was great learning. And I didn't invest much. I didn't buy like so many units, and but I saw that the sales were very slow, and sales were very slow. And if like initially, if you just have one product and you even don't know whether that product is good or not because it doesn't have the like private label doesn't give you the same experience as online arbitrage, because
Right,
in online arbitrage you can experience many different asins, hundreds of asins, but here in private label you're stuck with one.
right.
So at that time, I even didn't know whether that's a good one, not good one, and how to do PPC for it. I did it. I was spending too much on it, and then I stopped it.
Hmm.
And after like, I think 10 months or 11 months passed, and I came across your,
I
um,
understand. Yeah.
yeah.
And that's a typical experience.
Mm,
I know you know this, Samina, but the listeners, if they've never heard me say it before, one of the more frustrating aspects of the industry that we're in is if you're new and you say, I want to learn how to sell on Amazon, and you jump online and you do half an hour of research, let's say, the vast majority of what you're going to be exposed to is people convincing you that you need to launch your own product. And to me, that's the equivalent of putting kindergartners on motorcycles, right? Like if you're just learning how to ride a bike, we do not want to stick you on a bike that's capable of doing 150 mile an hour on the highway. That's insane. We want to put you on a training wheel, probably in your front yard with some grass to catch you if you fall, and you get used to putting your feet on the pedals. We'll get you where you want to go eventually, but we don't want to start you off on a rocket ship. And so much of our industry has started so many new sellers on a rocket ship business model that they just have no business of being in, to the point where I say frequently about 5% of new sellers who start down that path ever make any money. But the strategies we teach let you wade in at your own pace and learn the systems. And I would say you're probably far better positioned now, Samina, to launch your own brand you're far more better positioned right now, obviously, because you've sold tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of inventory. You know what works, what doesn't, what listings work. You've got a good sense of the community and for Amazon and the landscape. So maybe it is time for you to start playing. But new sellers, never. So yeah, I'm glad you found us after you learned some tough lessons, lost a little money, it sounds like, but you've been on a good trajectory for coming up on 5 years now.
Yeah.
What are your goals for this business? Like, where would you like to see it go now that you're a coach on our team? And once you get back into your routine, and you said before we hit record, your son's getting healthier. So praise
Yeah.
God for that. That's awesome. Excited for that. But where do you see this going?
I think the way I've been doing it, I just want to maintain at the same level. And I think I can, yes, of course, like I can do that. And that's very comfortable area for me to manage all that by myself. Yeah, and keep, as one of my friends says, keep pivoting also a bit in terms of the brands I buy or in terms of the asins I buy
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So I am keeping up with what I should be selling and what is good to sell now currently because I do see Amazon like getting people gated or some in some brands. So for that, I'm just pivoting,
Yeah.
and
Stay
it's
diversified, right? Inch
yeah.
deep, mile wide, as we say around here.
Yes, yes. And
Good, good.
if I think about it, if like this is what you used to say initially, like 5, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, also that keep diversifying, having many ASINs rather than one. And if you have so many ASINs in your store, you're always diversifying. So nothing get gated is going to be the end of the world if you
Right.
just follow the steps.
Yeah. Yeah. The strategy prevents you from being overly exposed in just one brand or just one ASIN or just one category. Yeah, we'd
Yeah.
love to see that diversification in your portfolio of ASINs where you lose one or two or 10 ASINs in a week. Hey, yeah, no big deal. I found 25 ASINs that week in all kinds of different categories. And you've got that diversified catalog, which it's just not a complex business model. It's work, but it's not complicated. And you're doing a masterful job. Yeah. And I think you're going to continue to grow. You said you'd like to kind of stay where you are, but I think you're going to enter a season of growth and I'd love to see you pick up a virtual assistant, but I can talk you into that some other time because you're really doing just such a brilliant job. And the things that we look for when we bring coaches on the team, as I know you know, Samina, is one, you've succeeded at a high level using the strategies we teach, which you've obviously done for several years now. And two, you've got a teacher's heart. You've got a passion for helping others succeed, and you have that. I could tell just talking to you the few times we've talked that you love explaining the business and you love being around others and talking about the business. You see the benefits of that. So, yeah, welcome aboard, Samina, and looking forward to where we're going to go with this thing.
Thank you so much, Tim. It's an honor, and I'm very glad. And I just want to mention one thing
Please.
when just spoke about private label. If I had discovered or if I had found your community first, I think I would have started with the online arbitrage
Yeah.
rather than going to the private label way. As I said, we were just like blindly going into this. But the only thing maybe I did good from my part is I didn't invest too much in my private label. But if I knew everything, and by the way, that was also a great learning experience for private label. I created my own listings back then and own pictures, the search engine optimization, keywords optimization, everything I did it by myself. But yeah, so if I had found your community before, I would have straight away started with the methods that you teach for new sellers.
I'm glad you found us eventually, but I do believe that I could make a very strong case that no seller who's new should ever start out trying to launch their own brand. The odds of your success are so slim. But with the online arbitrage models, the replens model, the reselling model that we teach here, it's very safe, wait in slow. Odds of making a profit are really, really high. And then you can scale to whatever level you'd like to scale. So that's why we're so proud of this model. And I'm glad you're teaching it with us now. Outstanding, Samina. It's been great hanging out with you, spending some time. I know you're up late to do this. So thank you so much for doing that. Appreciate that so much. Anything else you wanted to say before we start to wrap this one up? You've done a tremendous job today.
Yeah. So no, I have said everything. It's just honor talking to you. I'm very excited working with you, and yeah, so I'm just ready to help people, and it's gonna be good. And in my, I was chatting with my friend before coming here, and I just wanted to say one more thing. Like in your community, there is abundance also. Like
Yes.
good people, they share, and they have that abundance mindset that they want to see you grow, and you just catch up on that energy, and you grow and they grow and everyone grows. So yeah, just for new sellers, just start taking actions, find your group, find your mastermind group, and as you said, you direct people to go to those groups, and I'm sure you'll find some abundance people who will just give you positive energy, and everything will grow from there.
Yeah, I think groups of people of any kind of group, drifts into a very contagious state of either abundance or scarcity. Groups just do. And you can tell a group develops a personality. Scarcity shows up in fear of the future and competition, and no one knows who their friends are and who their enemies are. And it's very dysfunctional. And sadly enough, that's the default for most groups. They end up there, especially a business group of some kind. People feel like, I'm in a room full of my competitors. Why should I help any of these people? Right? That's a scarcity mindset. It's very contagious.
Mm.
But like you mentioned, an abundance mindset, which requires a lot more work to maintain, but the rewards are so incredible. It's very intentional. We remind each other all the time, hey, we're not competitors here. We're playing in a big blue ocean of opportunity. Let's help each other. Let's encourage each other. Let's create opportunity. And I love that you've detected that, and you bring a whole lot of that with you as well to the team. So there's a synergy here. One abundance minded person plus one more abundance minded person equals like 10 abundance minded people, right? It's
Absolutely.
just there's a synergy there, and so
Yeah.
it grows exponentially almost. But yeah, that's the secret sauce of this group. Sometimes when I'm asked to speak to, what is it that makes this group special, we're very protective of having an abundance mindset and encouraging community. We'll tackle problems with you head on, but we're going to be very solution oriented as we do it. We're not going to complain, for example. We're going to find solutions, that sort of thing. But yeah, it resonates so well to have you as part of the leadership team around here. And once again, it's going to be an honor. All right, Samina. Well, I'm going to let you get some sleep, okay? And I'm going to say goodbye to the listeners here briefly, those who hung out with Samina and I today. If this was one of the first episodes of our show that you've ever heard, I've got some really good news for you. If you liked what you heard today, we're coming up on 1,000 podcast episodes. We've got hundreds of interviews with the successful students from our community. They all have a couple things in common. They've built a beautiful business, and they've used the strategies we teach to do it. So you can scroll back in time and hear all kinds of great interviews, as well as instructional episodes. Our Wednesday episodes, for example, are Coach's Corner with Brian and Robin Joy Olson, two great coaching team leaders on our team who bring the content every week. Or you can just listen to those interview episodes if that's your favorite, get inspired and encouraged, and find other people who are finding a way to do this. And that'll light a fire under you to do the same. But we're so glad you hung out with us today. We'll have more great episodes for you very soon. All right, Samina, my friend, good to see you. We'll talk soon, okay?
Nice. Thank you so much, Jim. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And to the listeners, we'll have another great episode for you very soon. We'll talk to you then. Hey, thanks for joining us for today's show. But before I let you go, I want to spend a couple minutes with my good friend Kang Dang. He has become a leader and a pillar in this community. Actually, he's the guy behind one of my favorite podcast episodes ever, number 754. Scroll back and listen. It's a must listen if you like this show at all. You got to go hear that one. But we just did a webinar as we're recording this. We did a webinar for our community last night. A whole bunch of people came and had their socks blown off. It was an incredible presentation. And we're just going to talk a little bit about it. Then I want you to go watch the webinar if you're interested in what King and I discuss here in just a moment. The way you can go see that webinar, as well as get more details on the software we're talking about, is to go to silentjim.com/the system. That's kind of the nickname we've given the tool that King developed called 3P Mercury. But King, tell us about that webinar last night. What we do? What was the response?
Yeah, so we had a almost like a mini training session that was done by our good friend and coach Brian Olson, and he was a early adopter of 3P Mercury, but with certain circumstances he kind of put it off for a while, and then he finally reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm ready to get on 3P and see what it's all about." And when I showed it to him, I did a private session with him and I showed it to him. He was blown away at how much manual work that this was saving him and the opportunities that he kind of missed out on by not using our system. So he's been playing around with it and kind of transferring over his manual processes over to 3P in the last couple of weeks, and he is just completely sold. He goes he's gone back to me and says that every person I've kind of taught this method to, their minds are just blown. And I was like, well, why don't you blow the rest of everyone's mind and teach the community what you're doing? And this is the beautiful thing about the system is like when I built the system, I built it for me. But all of these folks who started using it, they put in their own flavor and twist, and all of a sudden, they're coming up with strategies that I never even thought of, right? So Brian in this webinar, he is showing you guys a method to essentially find tens of thousands of asins, you know, fairly automated fashion. And the power of doing this and having the combination with 3P Mercury track these asins is that he shows just a very simple example that, if he just loads up 10,000 asins and he just have a small percentage of that return in the advanced filtering features that we have in 3P, and that the ability for the data to constantly get updated, he would have 1,000 leads to go by and source. So it's just a complete game changer. And the folks on the webinar, we had 400 plus people, almost 500 people register for it. They were just their minds were blown, just like how Brian predicted. So you gotta watch that one if you missed it.
Yeah, for sure. And we really are shifting away from anyone who knows and understands what it means to be a reseller on Amazon and Walmart. We're shifting away from this constant grind and struggle to find good products into a reality of there's so many great products. You just need to monitor them for when they are viable and know when to buy them. Well, as a manual process, keeping track of, say, 1,000 or 4,000 different ASINs, that's a lot of work manually. But if you've built a system that allows you to track those for you and tell you, hey, this one looks interesting, time to go buy, no longer is your restriction how many ASINs you have. Your restriction is how much money do you have to put into your system, because you're making very safe bets. Some of them are paying off very, very well for you, and you're getting in and out as the ASIN's character traits dictate. If it looks good right now, we get in. If it doesn't, we're out. And the system is helping us know when to get in and out. Phenomenal presentation last night. And I really think we are setting a trend that's going to carry for the next many years of resellers on Amazon and Walmart and who knows what else. But it's brilliant software. People are really truly having their minds blown. And if someone wants to go see the presentation that we're talking about, I would strongly encourage go to silentjimdotcom/the system. There's a webinar posted on that page that happened in early March of 2025 that you want to go check out. And we'll stick that right on the page for you to go see. And if you have trouble finding that or you want to contact our team, just reach out to our coaching office. We'd be happy to talk to you as well. There's a link at silentjim.com to connect with us. You can text us anytime, give us a call, or schedule a call. So fantastic job, Kane. Keep up the great work, man. Keep bringing us these cool updates, okay?
For sure.
All right, buddy. Good to talk to you. Talk to you soon.